中の心と物質
Hey.
Hey
there.
What's going on?
Hey there, guys.
What's going on, guys? You know, we're gonna have a pretty chill episode today.
Today's the Lazy River episode.
This is the leaning back, chilling out.
Man,
this is if we had a couple of Modelos right now.
Ooh, bro, if we had a couple Modelos.
It's like, fucking end up falling asleep like this, just.
That's so funny, bro. To fall asleep on a podcast is pretty funny. I think I said it before, but the comedian Lee Sayat, he fell asleep because he did a bunch of edibles on the podcast. And it's just the guy talking, Joey Diaz is next to him. And then it just pans over to Lee Sayat and he's just like this. It's so funny to think about, like, having a conversation with somebody and you just...
like Brian?
Yeah, oh my God, bro. But... that's how it goes.
I
can do this. I'm so comfortable. I'm doing the podcast like this.
I mean, you can do that because I gotta fucking read this shit.
Hell yeah, man. I did my shit earlier, bro.
No, it's my labor.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But we are back again on this show where we talk about what's going on in the earth.
In our minds.
This is why it matters.
This is Earth, Mind, and Matter. Welcome back.
I'm Javi.
I'm Frankie.
And today we are on the news episode, guys.
Yes, sir.
So every other episode, we cycle through the news, and we always take turns co-hosting. Mm-hmm. I'm co-hosting today's episode for the news, and I got two topics for you.
Two topics.
Two.
Let me fix myself. Looking crazy. All right.
But dude,
what's up?
I forgot to remind you to talk about the hotel woman thing.
Oh shit! No, this better. Oh, thank you for reminding me now, because I wanted to talk about this episode, that and Julio Fulio. So Julio Fulio, which one do you want to hear first?
Let's hear about Julio Fulio.
All right, so Julio Fulio, you heard some music earlier, right? He's a rapper. Mm-hmm. He died. He got killed. Shit. Yeah, it's actually not good news at all.
Damn.
Yeah, so listening to his music, like, he didn't sound terrible. Like, there's a lot of real terrible rappers out there. And I don't personally like drill rap as much as people do, like, but all that stuff. Not really, drill rap, I think, is more UK. I think more like trap and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. I'm not gonna rap with this. Some of it to me is a little overwhelming. I mean, there's a lot of great too. Julio Fulio seemed more like a rapper that we just heard. I don't know who the fuck this is, by the way. I just seen it. I thought it was pretty funny because his name is hilarious, Julio Fulio. Yeah. This is how he looks. He kind of has like Sideshow Bob Simpsons hair. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, right? So,
that's pretty funny, actually.
Let's put a picture up of Sideshow Bob and Julio Fulio. This picture in particular, I'll send it to you. But he got killed, bro, which sucks because he's only 26 years old. Oh, fuck. He was shot and killed on Sunday while celebrating his 26th birthday. He was getting kicked out of Airbnb because he exceeded the occupancy. And basically... he went on social media to promote the pool party. I got little fungus. Ugh, not fungus, mucus. Julio, he's dead. Yeah, so he was throwing a pool party, exceeded the amount of people that were allowed to be there. And apparently, the shooting itself was an ambush that took place in the hotel's parking lot. So he was being set up and everything and stuff like that, I guess. And 3 other people got shot, but they're in a stable condition. But that's just fucking sad, man. Because
that sucks.
Yeah, like when I saw, but when I saw that it was like an ambush and stuff like that, like, damn, bro. And one of his videos, he's just, he has a picture of like 3 black other people. You know what I mean? That I say it like that, but I mean it like his friends, I guess, whatever, because he was commemorating them. And just I guess he was like honoring their death, commemorating their death, and then he gets ambushed and killed. And at 26-year-old, he didn't even make the 27 spot. When people get killed 27, like Kurt Cobain and shit. Yeah, but
that fucking blows.
Yeah, it's kind of a bummer.
Wow, man, that I don't even have anything on the soundboard for that. Like, God, you asshole. So, anyways, let's what happened with the hotel, huh? What happened at the hotel?
So I went to go deliver something, like, what's it called, like a food, right? And I get up there, I'm like, kung, room service. And then the lady opens the door and she's like, hey. I'm like, hey. I'm fucking tired,
What's
man.
Up?
What was that?
What's that?
That's from, I forget what that's from.
A scary movie.
There we go. We're gonna go party. What's it called? And is it super bad? I think it's super bad.
It's a scary movie.
No,
because that's when they do the scream thing.
No, you're talking about what's that?
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about like, yeah, dude, but we're about to get twisted and smashed up. Yeah. Like
that's McLovin.
That's no, it's
Isn't it
James
McLovin?
Franco's brother. Hold on, I don't think it was Superbad. I think it was a different movie. But he does that voice. Or James Franco does it. Anyway, fuck it.
Whatever.
So I knock on this door, I'm like, room service, right? And then she opens the door. I'm like, hey, good morning. She's like, good morning. And she tells me, she's like, hey, like, what happened with that fire alarm last night? I was like, there was a fire alarm? And she's like, yeah, it was like so late. I was like, was it loud? And she looks at me and she's like, yeah, it was a fire alarm. I was like, all right. I was like, all right, lady. Obviously, I don't give a fuck about this bitch ass fire alarm. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like I'm here just making conversation with you. It's 7 a.m, bro. And then she like gave me this sass, and it wasn't sass. It was more like, you know, like I didn't need that.
You're like, well, someone needs their coffee. Here you go.
Yeah, but when she told me that, I was so utterly baffled. I was like, oh, my bad. I obviously is loud. I didn't know it was like, you know, I didn't know what to say. Dude. You know, you're trying to make conversation in the morning. It's your fucking the temporary house, and I'm like, but it was pretty funny because obviously fire alarms are loud. And yeah, it was just, you know.
Did I tell you? I can't remember if I told you about this or if I said on the podcast, but did I tell you about this girl that I had matched with on Tinder who had flags in her bio, country flags?
Maybe. Was she hating money? Was that one?
No. Okay. But so this girl had country flags in her bio. I didn't know which countries they were because I suck at geography. So like I tried to like start a conversation off of that or whatever. Yeah. And I was like, oh, like what's like, where are you from? This and that. She lists down where she's from, this and that. And I asked her, I was like, oh, like, you know, what would you say you identify with the most out of any of those three? And she goes, all three of them, with a bunch of question marks. And then follows it up with another question. The fuck kind of question was that? A bunch of question marks. And then I was like, what the fuck? I was like, yo, what?
That's actually pretty fucking funny. You're like, yo, chill, dog.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
I don't even care to begin with.
I'm like, I'm just trying to make conversation, motherfucker. Damn, like you're the one that put this shit in your bio. Like,
it's so funny to make someone feel like they're crazy, even though their fucking shit is crazier. You know what I mean? Like, the fuck did you just ask me, you motherfucker? And you're just like, yo.
I hit her with the, I don't know your life story.
You're just there like, yo, man, when you get a sandwich in the morning, you get a bacon, egg, and cheese or a turkey, egg, and cheese. And they're just like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
What kind of like, dumbass fucking question was that?
Did you fucking get dropped as a kid, you piece of fucking
You're a
shit.
Fucking moron.
And they're just there like,
my heart. I would have used this one before, but now I'll use it now.
That is pretty fucking. She didn't answer the question, I'm assuming.
No, she didn't fucking answer, and I did fucking tell her I don't know your life story. I was just like, and I don't, you know, I just told her like everyone has different experiences, like this and that, whatever, some bullshit. Unmatch me after that.
Some bullshit. Everyone's life is different and unique, and no matter who you are and where you come from, it'll still be unique to you, and you're the individual, whatever.
And then she unmatched me after that.
That's funny when
I'm
people
just
get
like, whatever.
I think getting unmatched is a funny thing, man, because you know, like some people, like I remember when I was using like Tinder and stuff like that, like so long ago, like, you know, like you
in the olden days,
and you check your phone, and you're like, oh, okay, like she still hasn't unmatched me. And then you go and check, and you're like, oh, well, they just never want me in their life ever again.
They want nothing to ever do with me.
They thought about it. They let it sink a little too. They were like, I'm not going to respond for 5 days, fuck with his emotions, and then I'm gone.
Right? It makes me think of that joke that I had when we were playing Mortal Kombat at the bar. And since I didn't know any of the characters' names, I was just like, I'm gonna be this bitch. and you were like, oh, the bad bitch, and I was like, yeah, my fatality is that I'm gonna emotionally destroy you. But it's just that shit.
That's mad funny, man. Nah, I don't know. That's so fucking funny. Online dating is hilarious, and I feel like before I was so bad at like saying bro, I'll probably say some so corny shit like hey, because that's corny nowadays. You know, you just write hey, and then Like somebody will look at that now. They'll be like, are you fucking serious right now? Like that's all you got? It's like, bro, I'm so sorry, bro. I don't know how else to just begin this conversation.
Anthony and I have talked about that before where we're like, women like are so bad at like opening lines and stuff. And they're like, at least in our experience, where it's just half the time it's just, hey, couple Y's.
Yeah, you can't even be like, "What's up?" Like, "What's up" is pretty. I don't know what the fuck I would say now, but I'll probably be like, "Hey, what's up?" And then they probably unblock me. Or
they'd probably unmatch you. They'd be like, "This boring ass motherfucker."
Like, oh, but you gotta be so creative now, man.
You gotta like. Oh,
crazy. What do you do? What do you do? I'm so curious.
It mostly depends. Like I have like different options.
You just come on straight with the flag question. Like, first of all, how many flags you got in your background, and which one do you associate most with?
But like, the one that I find really funny that when it does work, I'm like, no way did that work.
No, I think you told me
the Freaks and Geeks one.
Yeah.
That
Can
one,
I be the geek to your freak? Or something like that?
When that one works, I'm like, no way, dude. But that one, I'm like, nice.
Maybe if you started off with like a really crazy fact. Like, yo, did you know that like if you eat bananas on Wednesdays at 3:00, like your mom will die? She's like, what? Like, yo, you want wild?
Another one I like to do is if they're into like some of the same bands or some music that I'm into, I'll like start off the conversation with like, oh, want to trade songs?
That's cool.
To just immediately start talking about music from there. Link is a great opening line as well. He's a great wingman.
Oh yeah,
man. Because I definitely have him in my bios and shit. So and like when people ever comment on him, I always when they ever ask for his name, I always have a big thing where I'm like, he's the hero of Hyrule, the defeater of Ganon, savior to Princess Zelda, aka me, Link, and like that usually works pretty well for me. So.
That's so fucking funny.
I'm imagining like fucking Nicholas and his friends right now are like,
go on. That's so interesting, man, because everybody says some different shit. You know what I mean? I definitely was not good at that shit at all. Like, I think for me,
boy, it takes a minute.
Yeah, it definitely does. I was just like, yeah,
and they're like, nope.
I'm like, whoa, and that's the way the news goes.
All right, Rebecca, here we go.
Oh, D, man. But yeah, Julio, rest in peace, Julio, 26 years old,
and fire alarms.
Bro, he's fucking. First of all, if you don't know who Julio is, 43 million views on YouTube. That's fucking insane,
that's a
bro.
Lot. That's a lot.
So obviously he was major, and rest in peace. That fucking sucks.
Yeah.
End the episode.
Here we go. So now, beginning of the new episode.
Yeah.
We're starting over from the beginning. Top of a new episode. Here we go.
Okay.
News. Welcome.
No, well, great.
But I got two news topics for you today. One of them is pretty cool. The other one, pretty cool. The other one, I think you might be less interested in. We'll see when we get to it.
Oh shit.
But yeah. So for this first one, right off the bat, it's about alien megastructures. I don't know if you've seen any headlines about that.
Alien megastructures. My only thing I could think of is those crop fields that they make, and they look really crazy. And you can see them from the sky, and they think aliens made them.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's not what we're talking about. But I like where your head's at.
Right, but wrong.
I like where your head's at. Okay, you're doing great.
All right.
So
thanks. Tell the kid who failed this most important test. Right. All right. I like where your head's at, but you're not going to college.
So, what do we do next? McDonald's. Awesome.
Go apply.
But so with these alien megastructures, this is pretty recent within the last week or so, where scientists have seemingly discovered Dyson spheres around stars in space, which could lead to evidence of life amongst the stars. I'm going to explain all of that.
Let me lean back. Because I'm going to need the...
You're gonna have to put on your thinking cap for this one.
No, I'm good.
So, the first thing we're going to talk about to understand all this is something called the Kardashev scale.
Kardashev?
Yes, Kardashev scale. It was a scale named after Nikolai Kardashev, who was
Russian?
an astrophysicist. I would imagine, honestly.
Yeah.
But
ooh, I want to play Grand Theft Auto 4 now.
Nikolai.
Nico,
cousin.
It's your cousin.
Want to bowl?
Ding, 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 ding. That's 007. Bro, Grand Theft Auto 4, one of the best games on
Hell
Earth.
yeah.
So fucking good, right? It's so much better than GTA 5. San Andreas is great and all and everything, but GTA 4 has that sweet spot. And if they just re-release it with a much more expanded version of New York City and involvement, because the DLCs are fun, but they're kind of limited because you still can't go into buildings. Why do we want to go into every building we go to in GTA? Why is that the want?
Because they design it so well.
Yeah,
it's just
right.
Like,
You just want to go in there, right?
You just like it's almost insulting when you can't go into a place. You're like, well, fuck you.
You think GTA 6 you're gonna be able to go to every building?
Maybe not every building.
Most
maybe
buildings.
maybe a lot more for sure.
I mean, 2026. What is it? 2020 is it gonna come out?
Next year, 2025.
Oh, really?
Allegedly. They'll probably delay it.
Yeah.
But they're saying next year, 2025.
That was fast. I remember I was complaining about it the other day. Literally, I was saying like, "What? We're gonna have to wait how long?" And now we're pretty close.
I remember when people were trying to complain about that, and I was just like, "You be happy." Like that's only a year,
Bro,
like
man.
Cyberpunk. When they first announced Cyberpunk, they announced that like 8 years before the game came out. They fucking teased Elder Scrolls 6 like 6 years ago.
Yeah,
and like they barely even started Elder Scrolls.
and
6.
given how hard it is to make a game, I'm sorry. This is one last thing I'll say, but that's a new comment now. Like, remember yesterday when I mentioned the gay pasta? Yeah, like when the guy for Pride Month he made gay lasagna or whatever, like colored lasagna to make a rainbow. All the comments are like, "We got gay pasta before GTA 6." Like that's been the comments for everything. Like every time,
it's so dumb, man. So dumb.
I love it though. That's so fucking funny. I'm like, hell yeah.
Banana bread.
Kardashev scale.
Kardashev scale. So on this scale, there are 3 types of civilizations that, in what distinguishes them, is their capacity to generate and consume energy.
Okay.
So this scale basically has 3 types of civilizations, 3 levels where they go by planetary, stellar, and galactic.
Okay.
What distinguishes each of them is that they all have the capacity to generate and consume energy. On what scales is dependent on what type of civilization they are.
Okay.
So
do we count as that?
None of them.
Okay.
So that's a pretty that's something I learned in reading about this.
Yeah.
But type 1 is planetary, where you're able to generate and consume energy from within the planet. So an example of that is, say, like how here on planet Earth we have volcanoes and thunderstorms and hurricanes and earthquakes.
They're recycling the energy to function.
If we could somehow harness that energy and instead of having that stuff level fucking cities and actually put to it towards the cities, that would be an example of a planetary civilization.
So we don't need like what's it called? Like not man-made gas. What's the word? I know what you're saying though. So like say like this volcano releases so much steam, right? So then we just steam engine everything, and then or is it even without that middleman of being like just letting the steam run things for us? You know what I mean?
It's more so of like, say, the eruption of a volcano. So say if like we could somehow harness that power of like the eruption of a volcano and somehow harness that and use that to make energy for a city instead of that leveling the city. That would be an example of a planetary civilization.
I'm kind of mad at science for not doing that already. It seems pretty easy.
Come on, guys.
There's one hole that comes out of it. Just fucking route that shit somewhere else.
Just fucking put a fucking cork plug in it.
Or like just route it somewhere else. I'm sure it's way harder than it sounds, but we have pipes. just you know what I mean? It sounds so simple. You know what I mean?
And so that right off the bat, that's why we're not even considered a type 1 civilization. We are still considered a type 0 civilization.
Really?
We're still like in the span of the human race, we are still just a blip in everything. And
so like a really super superior version of us would be type 1.
Yeah, essentially.
That's fucked up.
And so type 2 is stellar, which is being able to generate and consume energy from
space,
the host star.
Ooh.
AKA the sun. So say if, for example, we were a type 2 civilization, we would be able to build things around our sun to harness the power of our sun and use that to do whatever. And at that point, it's really up to the imagination of what you could do with the power of the sun.
Yeah, and how would you transport it back over here? But aren't we already getting it through the rays it gives us? You know what I mean? Like
so
energy?
that is one thing that is mentioned about solar panels. Solar panels is a thing. We do have that. That's sort of
or even like when we get touched by sunlight and it gives us vitamin D, or probably much more, and it probably uplifts our mood. Like isn't that also the same thing?
Well, it's more so built on like a civilizational scale of like science and technology of how advanced we are.
Okay, got you.
So
solar panels will count more into that.
Yeah, so solar panels are like more of a glimpse of what a Type 2 civilization could be. Because with solar panels, like, we can harness some of the power of the sun, but we can only do it on clear days and during the day, not at night.
Yeah, a cloud is a nightmare. Like imagine a helicopter that's like run purely on solar panels, and then you see a cloud, you're like, fuck! Go.
So it's stuff like that where it can be it is very limiting. So that's why we're not considered Type 2 civilization, because we're not really harnessing the full potential of the sun.
Just partially.
Exactly. Okay. And it really is up to the imagination of what the full power of the sun could provide. Like, people love to think about like warp drives and things like that, or like
speed of light,
being able to travel across galaxies and this and that. Okay. But when it comes to traveling across galaxies, that's when we get into Type 3 civilization, galactic.
Ooh, the power of
being able to consume energy from any star in the galaxy. Okay. So not even your host star, just any fucking star. All the fucking stars.
Seems a little greedy, but okay.
And so it's funny that you mentioned that. But I'll get to that in a sec, the greedy thing.
Nice.
But just a little fun fact real quick. The Milky Way has several hundred billion stars.
We're in the Milky Way, right? Yes. Hell yeah, I knew that.
So think about if we were a galactic civilization and we were somehow harnessing the power of all the several hundred billion stars in our galaxy.
We don't need that. That's so much for no reason. Yeah, bro. Dude, I don't want that to happen to us.
And so currently as we stand as a society, are only like, we're not even sure if we're capable of recording such data as a Type 2 civilization. Yeah. We don't know if we have the technology to even like see that. And so what's going on is that
just Jordan using the Nintendo DS.
Yeah, he's just taking a picture. He's like, got it.
Like, duh, guys. That's all everybody's like, oh.
Fucking Picto chat. But so what they're doing now with this study is that they have found that maybe theoretically, if there is a civilization out there harnessing the power of their sun, a Type 2 civilization, we would lose sight of that star in the sky. Okay. Because if that star is being covered by whatever technology to harness it, we literally wouldn't be able to see it anymore.
Interesting.
And so, but the thing with that is, you can't see it in the sky, so how do you find it? Yeah. The way that you try to find it theoretically is through infrared lights because of heat. It is almost intuitive that like something like that would always produce that amount of heat, and that even with infrared lights, you'd be able to find it in the sky.
Gotcha.
So that's what this study's doing. And now this study has conducted to have found a Type 2 civilization they conducted this study where they found Type 2 civilizations where they have 7 candidates right now for this civilization.
On the sun?
Just out in the galaxy.
Oh, shit.
So,
Type 2 is them using the sun.
Yes, okay. Type 2 is them using the sun.
That's interesting.
So, because they've found 7 candidates that have been found using infrared lights. So that's what a lot of people were talking about, like, oh, aliens. Is this it? However, it's science. At the end of the day, what people are also saying is that it could just be a gas cloud.
Okay.
Which is very anticlimactic.
Yeah, it's a big fart.
So it could always just be that at the end of the day, but that is what science is. You never know until you know.
But when you do know, you're like, oh, this is nothing.
Half the time. But so I mentioned when I started off that this is aliens are using Dyson spheres.
Yeah.
A Dyson sphere is a theoretical construction of building a spherical panel around something that is capable of powering like something like the sun. So like think about the device in Spider-Man 2 that Doc Ock makes, if you can picture that.
Yeah.
Something like that kind of like encapsulates it. or this fucking one news channel actually used this like image. I don't know where they found it or who created it, but they used that sort of image as an example of it.
It looks like a nucleus, right? Or
almost,
like,
yeah,
right?
Like an atom or something.
Yeah.
But I'll put it up on the wide angle too and shit. But yeah, so that's kind of what Dyson spheres are. And so there's just this whole conversation of like, oh, are there actually aliens out there? Could this be like alien megastructures, these Dyson spheres out there in space?
Yeah.
We don't know yet. And this is all still pretty new, but it's pretty fucking cool.
But it's some shit that they see in space where it's like, this is kind of weird that this looks like this, and it can also be used. Like if something were to be shaped like this, it would be very ideal for a Type 2 civilization.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Like you don't just you would. There's no. I mean, there's what's it called? There's a lot of coincidences, but there's also like some things,
Of course, and that's like always the mystery of science. There's still so much we don't know about the universe and the galaxy beyond us, or it's just everyday scientists are always learning something new, which I think is one of the coolest things about science. Science was always my weakest subject in school. Yeah. I absolutely love space, and there's just something about it that always intrigues me.
I remember when everybody fucking got hyped that the black hole made a sound.
Yeah, I know we talked about it, and I was also hyped.
And fucking every pothead in the world was like, "You see, man, that shit makes sounds too, man."
Yeah, because there's no sound in space, but a black hole can make sound that like literally defies like what we've known for years.
Shit, bro.
Punk ass.
Have you seen the that sound bite where it's like, I got lotion on my dick right now, I'm stroking my dick.
Yeah. I'm at a sound bite that of you.
It's pretty funny because you control somebody with that shit. You're like, yo, the black hole made a sound. You're like, no fucking way. And then there's just 2 seconds of, yo, I got lotion on my dick right now. I'm stroking my dick right now. They're like, fuck.
I got. That's like the new
Rick Roll.
Rick Roll, yeah.
That's mad funny. No, I mean, it's pretty cool. I mean, it could be cooler. The visuals of it are dope as fuck.
Yeah, like, I find this cool just because it's like, you just never know.
Yeah.
But what's also interesting about this whole study is that how the media is putting it out there of like alien megastructures and this and that. Like, seems like scientists found alien megastructures out in space and this and that. That first sentence is basically that I wrote off of my notes is basically what all the news sites and channels are saying. When was this? Within the last week or two now. I got all of my notes from Neil deGrasse Tyson's YouTube video about it that he just posted yesterday. But this news had been out, I think, about like maybe 10 days ago at most or something like that. But yeah, so it's still pretty new. It's still pretty fresh. And the fact that Neil deGrasse Tyson did a whole like in-depth dive on it and stuff in a video is really cool. So thank you for that.
I think, what's it called? Here's a book. I will lend you the book if you ever want, like if you read it. Because I think it's called Astrophysics for People in a Hurry. Let me see. It's called, Astrophysics for People in a Hurry. And he has that book out. And I think it's pretty cool because, like, I don't know what the take on Neil deGrasse Tyson is. Not for, like, regular people like me and you or even, like, famous people like comedians or people that we watch. But, like, for legit scientists, like, is he to science what Gordon Ramsay is to chefs and cooks? You know what I mean? Like, not to put down Gordon Ramsay, of course, but, or like Bobby Flay. Not Bobby Flay, sorry. What's his name?
I know who you're talking about.
Fucking hair.
Yeah.
Guy Fieri. What's it called? But with science, it's so fucking like what's it called? Like objective. No, is that the right word? I mean, it's so based on fact.
Right. Yes.
That's what I'm trying to say. So like you can't really play around with that. There's a lot of opinions that you can express in science because it's all based off again fact. But it's pretty cool because when you read this book, I mean, I barely touched it. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I have it there, but it's cool because
guess what? I'm in a hurry.
Yeah, basically. And but I read like the first couple pages. And I'm like, oh, this makes a little sense because it really is breaking down like what you think of in terms of space and whatever is the function of it. But it's explaining to you in really like basic terms,
layman terms, and stuff.
It's dope.
Yeah, I mean, from what I understand about Neil deGrasse Tyson, like he's pretty renowned in the science space. Like people like really like him and stuff. They're
he's smart as fuck, bro.
He's got a lot to say, and like regardless of his career in the past, like of being an actor and this and that.
He was an actor before?
In some stuff,
What the fuck?
I'm pretty sure.
I didn't know that.
But like he's been like people like him. Like he's almost like a like.
No, he's super likable.
He's almost like Bill Nye.
Yeah,
like,
I just feel like what's it called again? Like comes down to, you know, what is he in the community of like people who are like real serious
of course,
about this shit, you know? Like, 'cause he's more of a now he's like more of a entertainer, you know, to some extent. But he's super cool when you watch his interviews like on Joe Rogan and stuff like that. Like he's super fun to watch because he's so nerdy. And actually, a lot of the stuff he says, like not that I can recall, but if you do check out an interview, anyone he does. When he does make a point, like it's really like blatant, and he's not trying to be an asshole or nothing. He's like he kind of discredits certain people's takes on things because he's like, no, literally the sun is revolving around this miles per hour. If you were to take that there, and then he'll say some shocking shit that's like, whoa, what the fuck, and that interests me a lot. Also, this book is less than $10 for anyone that wants to get it. Let's go. Astrophysics in a Hurry. It's super fucking cheap. Just saying, just read, you know.
Yeah, that was Alien Megastructures. I just wanted to talk about that. Yeah. You know, and it even talking about space and sci-fi stuff, the second topic, which I think you might not find as interesting, but I think what at least is interesting to me is that it's about Star Wars.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Because I don't know if you've seen about how Star Wars has a new show out recently.
Yeah, I remember I seen the billboard for it, and then I was the person I was with. They were like, "What is that?" And I was like, "What the fuck is that?" You know. And then it was like a Star Wars thing. You know what I mean? Whatever. Oh, actually, before anything, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What do you think about the CGI they used on Yoda when they rebooted the Star Wars movies?
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about, right?
In the prequels.
Yeah, like the old movies.
Like in the 2000s, right?
Like the OG movies, like the real OGs. I don't know if you've seen this I saw on Joe Rogan. That's why I'm bringing it up because it's Star Wars related. But they were talking and basically saying how the old Yoda was basically kind of like a puppet.
Yeah.
And then they CGI'd it to make it look more like futuristic. But and people they think that it kind of ruined it rather than it. You know, the old way it looked made it seem more genuine. Part of the film.
I mean, it's interesting that you mentioned that because that is something we'll talk about in terms of like George Lucas and stuff like that. So,
but have you seen?
You're doing great.
Thanks, bro. I'm just leaning back again. I can rest now. But have you seen it? How it looks? The difference?
I don't think I've ever seen the difference because there's so many like changes throughout the original trilogy of Star Wars, like that George Lucas has done over the years.
Do you like that they did that or not?
Well, to just basically jump into it, that like. Basically what I was going to bring up with that whole topic is that Star Wars is an extremely toxic fan base.
Yeah.
And on top of that, all the controversy that will always follow Star Wars, people online I saw one Reddit thread where someone said that it was actually great of George Lucas to sell Star Wars to Disney. Because now Disney can be the scapegoat.
That's exactly what I was thinking when I saw that poster because we were talking and we were like, oh yeah, like Because then you can let it die and you'll make a shit ton of money regardless.
Yeah, he still gets stocks and everything.
I was thinking the same exact thing.
He will get paid for everything that he's ever done for Star Wars, and he'll die rich and famous. And
you're just kind of badass.
And no one will give a shit about fucking like George Lucas.
There won't be like it was him. It would be like, oh, it was Disney.
It was Disney. Yeah. So that's a huge thing. And so for me, when I see people talk about how they're upset with the changes to the old trilogy and stuff of Yoda and everything, and just all the general old changes,
I've seen it, but it's just too fucking okay.
But with all the old changes that they've made and stuff, I see people say that the only way to ever watch the original version of the original trilogy is by pirating it.
Okay.
And that kind of sucks.
Yeah, because you want a clean version. You don't want some shitty version. Yeah, like some shitty versions. You know?
Like sometimes, like, you know, purists and things like that, or just like general lovers of movie will want to go back and look at something the way that it was made originally.
Yeah. That's genuinely how I want to see the movie. Like, I don't want to see it with any CGI because I think even when we've covered it on the podcast, I think that was an improved version of the film already.
Yeah, it was.
And so, like, I think when it comes to films, you should definitely separate. You know, if you buy a film and it's a remake, you should 100% include the original, like for any movie. Because it sucks. Because when you touch something up, like that's not what people saw in the theaters when it baffled them. You know, if you were to go watch Reservoir Dogs, right, and then they touched up that part where the things in the windshield, you know, or like these little things or whatever, or even Ghostbusters.
About that,
you know, even Ghostbusters with the shadow with the car going fast, like little things like that, like. that's part of the time period. And I get it's more like, like sandpaper. What's the word? Like kind of like
smoothing out the edges.
Yeah, and I get it, but I also think there's like you put out what you put out, and that's like your flaws will also show your youth. You know what I mean? Like that mistake Tarantino did in Reservoir Dog, you would never see that in Django. Yeah. And when it wasn't Django, it was DiCaprio fucking up his hand by mistake, and then you see an incredible fucking impromptu response to it, which is amazing. Yeah. So I don't know. I think Star Wars to me is like, again, I still respect it because I still enjoyed the first movie like crazy. I think it's still the only one I've seen, but I had a lot of fun watching that. So, but thinking about like how oversaturated Star Wars is, and like you say, the fan base is toxic, like
it turns you off.
Well, not really. You don't understand. For me, like when I'm in a group of people who talk about Star Wars, like I can find my way into conversations if I'm invited, but that's one of those shits where like, bro, I'm not even gonna try. I'm not trying at all, because if I say one wrong thing, it's like,
well, actually it's Mace Windu that did that in episode 3.
I'll be like, yo, go fuck yourself, bro. So last thing I'll say, this is so random. Yeah, the guy I was talking to yesterday, Gia, he was saying that like when he was in college, sorry if you don't want me to say this, Gia, but it's nothing crazy. But like he was like a guy who was like really fucked up in the head a little. And he would call Gia. He was like, "You're a fucking virgin." And Gia was like, "Yeah, man." He will say that shit to me all the time. And I was a virgin. It's funny to think about someone calling you a virgin when you are. You're like
how dare you?
Yeah. How dare you, sir? And you just go back to being a virgin.
Want to see me be a virgin right now? So, with the rest of these notes, yeah, that's definitely a big controversy in general with Star Wars, of like all the changes that's happened to the old trilogy. Yeah. And like I definitely had some gripes with that myself, of just like, even the whole instance of like who shot first, Han or Greedo. Yeah.
Who shot Biggie?
But one of the big changes with that is Han Solo now shoots second because George Lucas wanted Han to be seen more as a hero. Yeah. But originally, if I remember correctly, they kind of shoot at the same time, or maybe like one of them shoots first.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's when they're in the cantina, and when and Han and the green dude,
and he shoots the green dude.
And, yeah,
this you brought up to me before when we covered it and stuff like that. So, and didn't they change it? So they changed something.
They changed it. Recently they added a new line on Disney Plus when they got added to Disney Plus. Where now, right before Greedo shoots, he says "McClunky."
There we go.
For whatever fucking reason.
Yeah.
So it's just weird things like that that happen.
That's supposed to be like an alien slur that made him, bad and everything.
So it definitely, because like I said, George Lucas made that change because he wanted Han to be more of a hero at like character aspect.
Can you do the R2D2 scream?
Wow!
That's so, and I love when what's it called? What's his name? Harrison Ford, when he does the scream. Oh no, the scream of the Sand People when they call out. That shit was cool as fuck, man. To this day, that sound is awesome. Yeah, just saying.
But the controversy I wanted to talk about was a new show, The Acolyte. It's a new show that is now on Disney Plus. It's about 4 episodes in, if I remember correctly. Okay. It was created by showrunner Leslie Headland, and it is part of the High Republic era of Star Wars. The High Republic era of Star Wars started off as a publishing initiative that would explore the Star Wars universe 2 centuries prior to the events of Episode 1.
So it's a prequel to the prequel?
Yes.
Okay.
It's the prequel of all prequels.
That's probably the easiest way to go by it, because you can't go forward because everything's already happened. So you can only really go backwards to create something completely new.
Well, they are also going forward with the in the film universe as well.
Why are they what's the end goal?
There is no end goal.
It just keep going and going, right? That's so interesting, man.
And so with the Acolyte, like I said, it takes specifically with the Acolyte, it takes place 100 years before Episode 1. So this one takes place at the end of the High Republic era. So it's sort of, with Star Wars, like the timeline stuff can be very confusing because they jump all over the place. Nothing is ever in order because George Lucas loves prequels. He's literally said it like in a quote before. Yeah. But so this show is the end of the High Republic era. The High Republic era, like I said, started as a publishing initiative where they wanted to write stories that would expand across novels, comics, and now television.
Gotcha.
And so what the High Republic era is essentially, if you've seen the prequels, you would see about how there's way more Jedi than there are in the original trilogy.
Okay.
and they talk about how even in the prequels that the Jedi Order is kind of dying. And basically it's this idea of that, oh, there used to be like a golden age of Jedi where like they were sprawling and like, because Jedi are basically space cops.
Nice.
And so there's always been this fascination of like, what did that look like when there was just fucking Jedi everywhere? Mm-hmm. And that's what the High Republic era is. It's the era where Jedi just fucking everywhere, fucking shit up, doing everything and this and that. So that's what the High Republic era is. And the Acolyte is about a show where it follows a Jedi and his Padawan, or a Padawan, and they are following a link of murders that are happening across the galaxy, and they're trying to solve this murder mystery.
That sounds cool.
So, and the big controversy that's been a huge thing amongst other things with this show, people are hating this show right now.
Really?
They really don't like it. But a big controversy that's been coming up is because of the fact that one of the recent episodes, they kind of have a gender identity thing, where the main character is played by a non-binary black person, and so in one of these recent episodes, that main character like comes out as non-binary, and so people are just like, "What?" That
is interesting, though. I mean, I don't know.
So it's a really interesting thing and a really interesting controversy, because something that I'm seeing that like people are trying to like argue with, or not even argue, but just more so like trying to make sense of the situation.
Because I'm thinking time period, right? But I'm like, wait, like, what time period is this in compared to humans? Like, is that even comparable?
Not even,
right? Because it's so outlandishly something else, right? So like, kind of, you technically are able to do whatever fuck you want. Like, it's kind of crazy that they're actually doing like man and woman, you know what I mean? Because it's space. you know what I mean? So it's like that's, like, what the hell? So I don't
Total Recall, Three Titties.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yo, Three Titties, Lita.
But it's that is interesting that you even mentioned it.
Reference, by the way. Okay.
But that is interesting that you even think about it that way, because like something that I've been seeing a big comparison about is House of Dragon, the new Game of Thrones prequel.
Bro, I went to a House of Dragon night for a Mets game. Like, it was House of Dragon night.
Nice.
Like, and the only thing House of Dragon was one chair you could take a picture on outside in the parking lot, like the throne thing, right?
Nice.
But inside the whole Mets game, there was not one. I thought everybody's gonna be wearing shirts and like themes. Nah, I mean, I don't watch the show. I never watched the show or Game of Thrones either. Beatrice has, right? But yeah, I'm like, what the fuck? And then we leave, then we see the throne. She didn't take a picture in it. And she wanted to, but I was like, we gotta get the fuck out of here.
You're like, I'm tired. I'm eating.
And she was like, that's crazy. It was crazy. That's literally why I went. Yeah, my bad.
But people are comparing House of Dragon to this controversy because the main character to House of Dragon is a female character who's played by a non-binary person.
Okay.
And so people are questioning, like, wait, well, why are people upset about the Acolyte but not upset about House of Dragon? And what one person online on Reddit said in these comments and on these threads was that what they think is that House of Dragon is a way more mature show that targets a more mature audience.
Okay.
So, and on top of that, this main character is a woman still.
She's non-binary.
And the actress is non-binary.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like...
They're non-binary.
Yeah, so it's just kind of...
No, I'm sorry.
So it is interesting to think of how, like, because it's built for a more mature audience, maybe, like, people are just a little more mature in the idea of, like, oh, it's not a big deal if, like, a non-binary person is playing a woman because, like, they're genetically a woman or whatever the case is.
I would think that it's not that. I would think it's just the delivery of it. I mean, I've never watched both the shows, but I think,
I haven't seen the Acolyte yet, but...
So for me, like, I think we both hold the stance where, like, you can do, like, woman empowerment or, like, equal rights empowerment. You can do all those things, and as long as it's done in good taste,
right,
then you're like, oh, yeah, like, that's how I want those messages delivered, by not knowing a message is being delivered.
Right.
Just, like, by representation and, like, and being done with class, so I think maybe Disney being the company that it is, even though they have a lot of pushback. Oh no, Disney's super woke now. Let's say, you know what I mean, with like how they are in like Disney World and stuff like that. So that could be very much it. I'm assuming,
without a doubt, because what basically that person was saying in that comment was that you know, there was some controversy with the actress's name is Emma Darcy, or actor's name Emma Darcy in House of Dragon.
How you go by that if they're non-binary? Do you say actor or actresses or actee?
I would imagine just maybe actor, because you know there's a lot of female actresses that also just go by actor.
Really?
Yeah.
I always try to correct myself when I say actor to an actress.
Oh, I think it's becoming more common that they don't care about that. It's
Actor
just kind of like,
unisex?
you know, we're an actor. Yeah, like it's becoming more unisex. Yeah.
Okay.
That's at least my perception of that.
Yeah. So somebody who's not an actor or whatever.
You know, that's just from what I see from interviews. You know, thanks GQ. But I like Emma Darcy. Apparently there was some controversy about them being Rhaenyra and being a woman, and the actress being non-binary. But apparently it's just nowhere near the scale of what's happening at the Acolyte. And it really is an interesting conversation where it's like, this is Game of Thrones, this is Star Wars.
Yeah.
They're kind of both doing like sort of the same thing, but it comes down to like, what is the delivery that's going on in the Acolyte? What is it that people are hating so much about this? I haven't seen it personally, so I don't know yet. But and there is that huge conversation that people talk about all the time now, like Disney being super woke and all this shit. And it's I think it's really weird. I'm just like, I find it like super weird. I'm just like, so because one comment said that the reason why they think people are so focused on Star Wars and stuff is that because it's more targeted for all ages.
Yeah, so kids are included and stuff like that. That's why my immediate response.
So then it always goes back to the for the kids.
And I think of some dad in like Iowa sees that and he's like, you know, come on, little Jimmy, we're gonna go watch some Star Wars. And then he sees that, he's like, fuck.
Yeah,
you know,
he's like,
God damn it,
not my
God
Star Wars,
Louise. They did it again.
They took another one.
That's what I imagine is happening, you know. And I don't know, but people are gonna be like upset about that shit no matter what. But like, if the show is good, it's raining.
Yeah, I think that was thunder. Yeah, God damn, what the fuck?
Uber price went up.
Surge.
Price went up. What's it called? Yeah, no, it's gonna thunder at like 9 and 10 today.
Just looking at Link, he's like, yo, you fucking heard that shit?
That shit was crazy.
Link's like, oh shit.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
They heard it.
They heard it.
We're muted, but they heard it.
Okay. That's what happened. For those who didn't hear how we play that sound effect, we usually hear it through our headphones, but we just saw the sound wave go on. So we had to just, we're good.
They heard it. We're good.
We're doing this right.
We know what we're doing. We're professionals.
Hell yeah, bro.
Pseudo.
Oh my god, man. Fuck yeah.
But that's basically like that controversy like topic in a nutshell. Like, you know, I figured it wouldn't be like the most exciting thing to talk about, but it's just, you know, it's Star Wars, and man, I like talking about Star Wars.
I gotta get to watching Star Wars just because I gotta see what the hype is about. And again, trust me, I very much like. Was it the 4th episode? That's what it is.
Yeah,
that was great. Like I know a lot of people don't like it. I tell my friend Tim, homie, he always says like, bro, watch Star Wars. He's like, just watch Star Wars, and he's like. He's a pretty busy guy, you know, but he like, even during work, like he'll take time and like he'll just be watching Star Wars on the side.
Nice.
And he fucking loves that shit, like since we were kids, you know. So he always says like, "Bro, watch Star Wars." And I'm just like, "All right, I got to, man. I've been slacking, you know. And I never do, but you know, it's you know, I want to have the time to do that, man. Like, bro. Like pandemic's low-key underrated, bro. Like you can play so much good video games, watch so many movies, you know, get paid by the government to do it, you know. Oh my
America,
God. Fuck yeah! Like it's so fucking blessed, man. So
that's somewhat banana bread.
Yeah, a little bit, right? Like banana bread, like dough.
It's like banana bread crumbs.
Yeah. Oh man, banana bread is pretty good when it's warm. Oh my god, bro. Yo, those strawberry gluten-free muffins from Trader Joe's.
Why didn't you bring any, man?
I don't know, man. But they were
fucking
so
scumbag.
Fucking good. You should have brought some, first of all. Give me
You know, when that was like the first thing I saw at Trader Joe's when I sent that picture. I was just like, boy, at most that's that.
So Javi sent me a picture. So banana bread is that meme, you know, where it's like banana bread at work, bro. Basically saying, you know, getting banana bread at work and a bunch of other shit is like some of the best shit that could ever happen to you. So he's, you know, the opposite of that he thought was strawberry gluten-free muffins, and boy was he wrong, bro. Those are some of the spongiest, most delicious, delectable, scrumptious, yummy things I've ever put in my face, bro. That shit was fucking delicious, bro. Holy
my god.
Nah, they were fucking good though. They were good as fuck. And if you go to Trader Joe's, you like strawberries, you like muffins, you like gluten free shit. Go get them shits, man. They're fucking
You like good prices,
bro. I'm telling you, once you bro, Trader Joe's. Once you try one, bro, you're gonna be fucking wet.
You want to know what I had as a snack before I went to the concert on Friday? Mac and cheese bites.
Oh, that's yo, bro. Fucking hungry, bro. I'm hungry. I'm sleepy, bro. I just want to hug.
Yo, man. Hey, yo, Frankie. It's okay, baby. It's okay. Todo está bien.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. It's been a long fucking week, bro.
Yo, and it's been a long episode.
Has it?
Nah.
I was like, what the fuck? What kind of time you looking at, bro? Now we could just shoot the shit.
Yeah, no, but I'll tell you for myself.
Yeah.
For me, always one of my favorite characters from Star Wars has been Yoda. Day one, like I think just as a kid it was because of a short thing.
That's mad funny. Actually.
I was like, yo, he's short, I'm short, he fucking kicks ass, like hell yeah, Yoda, hell yeah, banana bread, green banana bread. But I
green banana bread.
Like
that's mad funny.
Yoda has always been such a like staple in my heart as one of my favorite Star Wars characters, and they use a puppet version of him in episode 8 from the latest trilogy from Disney and stuff. And I was so happy when I saw that. I was like, oh my god.
So kind of like an homage to the old version of him.
Yeah,
because I was seeing they were like, it looks creepier before. Yo, this is a side note. I don't like when they make carrot cake and they dye it green or some shit. You know, when you see carrot cake and it's green, it just makes me not want that. I don't want that no more. Like, why'd you have to go out your way to make it green when it was like perfectly fine? And first of all,
they're just going through a phase, Frankie. Okay.
Cause tonight will be the night that I will carrot cake over again. Cause I'm just a teenage dirtbag baby. No, I'm just a baby carrot veggie.
So dumb.
Yeah, but I don't like when they make carrot cake like that, man. That shit pisses me off. I just don't. I wasn't gonna buy it, really, but when I see it there, I'm like, that looks fucking gross, bro. Nobody wants that. Nobody. If you give me a piece of that shit, I'm gonna be like, no, no.
I just imagine you like just trying to be nice. You're like, oh, thanks. Like over the shoulder, just gone.
That shit was disgusting.
Thanks for wasting my time.
Well, I never knew how good carrot cake was. That shit is fucking delicious.
Yeah, man. You know who makes a killer carrot cake?
Ooh.
My tia Sandra.
Really?
Yeah, she made
tia Sandra. Get on that shit. Please.
she has invited you to come up upstate before.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, let's go. Let's fucking go, bro.
Yeah, dog. Yeah.
All right, say less. Say less. Yeah. Say less.
I will be there for the carrot cake.
Yeah, but that's a little qualm I had with the carrot cake. That shit pissed me off for a long time. And it's something I never really acknowledged because the opportunity never presented itself to talk about it. But God,
that's what we talk about on this show.
I'm telling you, bro, that shit is so... It's like not even fully green. It's like watercolored green. You know what I mean? All right, that's all I'll say. I'm getting too far ahead of myself. Fucking pastries, man. Jesus fucking Christ, bro.
I definitely want to get more Star Wars tattoos for sure. Yeah. I definitely would love to get maybe Yoda tattooed at some point, or like even Grogu, which is like Baby Yoda.
How much is the Millennium Falcon Lego set? That should probably go up, right?
Guap, dude.
Really?
Those Lego sets in general are fucking stupid expensive. Legos are expensive, dog. Like what the... Yo, people who have Lego obsessions, where do you get that money from?
Facts. Actually, let me tell you this. There's a basketball player. I think it's Wembanyama, the guy who talked about with Caitlin Clark and everything. On his first paycheck for basketball, he spent it to buy himself the Lego set. I think the Star Wars Lego set.
Nice.
Yeah. Hold on. Let's see it.
What's always a funny idea to me is that people have pointed it out, like on Reddit and shit, where in the Spider-Man MCU movies, if you remember in the first one, when Ned, Peter's friend, finds out about him being Spider-Man, that he has a Death Star with him, the Lego Death Star. It's funny to think about how also in Civil War, how Spider-Man clearly references, actually not clearly, because they didn't own Star Wars yet, if I remember correctly. So they referenced episode 5 by saying, hey, have any of you guys ever seen that one old movie where like they tie up like the robots by their legs, which is a reference episode 5.
Okay.
So So clearly, Star Wars exists in the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
And what's funny to think about that is that Mace Windu, played by Samuel L. Jackson, also plays Nick Fury in the MCU.
Oh.
So it's kind of like,
how the fuck?
Yeah, like there's no people joke about it online of like no one's ever made the comment of like Peter's never asked like Nick like, hey, you look like Mace Windu.
Oh, because he knows watch the movies and everything.
Yeah.
Well, right here I'll show you. That'd be. You think that would cross over? Never, right?
Never.
That's it. That'd be so dumb for Peter to be in space. He's like, what am I gonna do?
I mean, he's been in space already for
true.
Avengers.
That was actually pretty cool when he was in space. What's it called? Yeah, it's his first big purchase with his NBA paycheck was a Lego toy set. All right, I'll finish the episode for Javi because clearly we gotta go. We're ending up right now, and so yeah, check out the socials. Earth My Matter Pod on Instagram and TikTok. Earth My Matter on YouTube. Hello, and yeah, I'm here talking to myself. See you later.